Hey kids! Have you ever met a talking parrot? Well, today, I'm going to tell you a fun and exciting story about a parrot named Pedro. Pedro lived in a beautiful jungle filled with tall trees, colorful flowers, and lots of friendly animals. Pedro was a bright green parrot with a shiny red beak. He loved to fly around and talk to everyone. But there was one thing Pedro loved even more: copying what others said. One sunny morning, Pedro was flying through the jungle when he saw his friend Leo the lion practicing his roars. "Roar!" said Leo. Pedro thought it was so funny and copied him. "Roar!" Leo chuckled but reminded Pedro, "It's important to have your own voice too, Pedro." Pedro laughed and continued his flight. Soon he came across Mila the monkey, who was swinging from tree to tree. "Ooh ooh ah ah," Mila chattered. Pedro thought it was hilarious and copied her. "Ooh ooh ah ah." Mila smiled but also said, "Pedro, it's fun to play, but remember to be yourself." Pedro nodded and flew off again. This time he found Timmy the turtle, slowly making his way to the river. "Slow and steady wins the race," Timmy said. Pedro mimicked him in a slow, deep voice. "Slow and steady wins the race." Timmy looked up and said, "Pedro, being you is the best thing you can be." Pedro was having so much fun copying everyone that he didn't think much about their words. Later that day, a big storm hit the jungle. The wind was howling and the rain poured down heavily. All the animals were looking for shelter. Pedro was scared and didn't know what to do. Suddenly, he remembered what Leo, Mila, and Timmy had told him. He realized that he needed to be himself and trust his own instincts. Pedro found a safe, dry spot under a big tree and waited for the storm to pass. The next morning, the storm was gone, and the sun was shining again. All the animals came out of their shelters. They were happy to see each other and even happier to see Pedro. Pedro flew to his friends and said, "Thank you for teaching me to be myself. It's okay to have fun and copy sometimes, but being me is the best." Leo, Mila, and Timmy smiled and hugged Pedro. From that day on, Pedro still enjoyed mimicking his friends, but he also loved being himself. So kids, remember this. It's fun to play and try new things, but always be proud of who you are. Thanks for listening to Pedro's story. See you next time.